day, viewers and listeners, and welcome to the Progress Report. In this episode, we will hear from the newly elected President of the Private Sector Commission, Komal Singh. The Private Sector Commission is a business lobbying organization dedicated to encouraging private sector participation in governance for the advancement of Guyana's social and economic development.
Guyana has gotten a situation right now where we need to develop this country rapidly, and rapidly to satisfy the needs of the growing demand as a result of the oil and gas finding over the last 2 or 3 years that we have seen. Oil and gas came to our shore and our country was not 100% prepared for the development that is needed to support that industry fully. Not forgetting our other sector that has already been showing massive growth development. Those other sectors also need the necessary infrastructure so as to allow them to grow and grow rapidly to meet the demand of the, not just the local market, but the regional market. From an infrastructure standpoint, there is a whole host of opportunity, an opportunity that kind of overlapped on what our local capacity can satisfy at this point in time. And that brings me to the talking point right now that you will see a lot of people discussing. How do we capitalize and how do we tap into some of these opportunities timely? There's many ways we can do that. We can either do it on our own and we take a longer curve to achieve that platinum position where we can satisfy the demand, or we start creating partnership and consortium so that we can tap in and benefit from the opportunity today and achieve the objective we want within a short span of time. Many of our local businesses have joined hands with foreign companies who has the requisite knowledge, financial capacity, and the requisite experience to support this development that we need urgently. From an infrastructure standpoint, government by themselves, the amount of infrastructure work that government is pushing out there at this point in time, our local construction industry do not have enough capacity to satisfy that demand at this point in time. The government is on a massive development campaign throughout the length and breadth of Guyana. If you go to almost every single villages in this country, you will see development taking place. Now, that is an excellent move that government has initiated. It creates a whole host of employment opportunity. It creates a whole host of opportunity for service industry within those villages and communities. So everyone now can benefit in some form or fashion. As you're aware, development, if you're looking for employment, infrastructure development creates a whole host of employment opportunity. And that is where our people can benefit from significantly. From a business and a private sector standpoint, we've recognized that there are limitations as it relates to our capacity. And for that, the Private Sector Commission is working aggressively with all our business organizations to make sure that if they're limited in capacity, we're encouraging them through some of these visits that we're having from overseas companies and countries, where they bring a team of business and private sector partners who are willing to participate and partner with our local companies. The Private Sector Commission will continue to work aggressively with our local BSOs and those foreign companies to help match them together and build those partnerships so that they can actually benefit and develop Guyana in a fast time so that we can all achieve the objective that is set out from the infrastructure standpoint. Guyana has a wide range of opportunity. As you are aware, we have been growing foods and vegetables in this country for the longest while. When you look at the value-added aspect of it, we have not been doing much of that. And for that, we are limiting ourselves on our capability that we can meet out to the foreign markets. Government right now have done quite a bit, and they're continuously working towards helping to develop the agriculture sector. And you have seen over the last 2 years, they have put a lot of effort into soya beans. We're now a producer of soya bean. If we can start doing more agro-processing here, we're going to help our farmers to make sure that when they produce stuff, it's not going to be a glut on the market and the prices are not there to satisfy and meet their demand at the end of the day. The agro-processing, as long as we can develop a few agro-processing facilities across Guyana, it will help the small and medium-sized farmers significantly. And I know for sure that private sector is working along with some of our BSO with foreign companies at this point in time, having those conversations to see if we can develop the agro-processing facility and the sector more locally right now. The local content legislation is not intended to bangle development and bangle investment. When I say bangle, I meant, if we don't have the capacity locally, it's not going to force you down the throat and say you must use somebody if they don't meet the technical requirement. But it's there for companies to have an opportunity to work with foreign companies, to work with foreign partners to make sure that they can also participate meaningfully in the oil and gas sector. And I touched that a little bit simply because I want to make a differentiation between what happens in the oil and gas sector and the other sector. The local content legislation was primarily focusing on the oil and gas sector. And it's working extremely well. We, as a private sector body, we're extremely happy about the implementation of the local content legislation. Still need a little bit more tweaking, but I can safely say on a scale of 1 to 10, we're satisfied up to about 8 or 9%. It's working effectively for the benefit of Guyanese and for the benefit of foreign investors also. Not just for Guyanese, but the foreign investors also benefiting from the local content legislation because it allows them some latitude also for them to participate meaningfully in whatever company they're participating with locally. As it relates to the other sector, the benefits and the opportunity that lies in the other sector, it's enormous. We have seen companies here creating partnership, and we'll use the Vredehoop Shore Base as a classical example. And I'll give a few. The Vredehoop Shore Base come together with a few different partners, some local, some foreign, and put them heads together, and they're building a world-class facility. All right. The Gisby Shore Base came together with a set of partners, local and foreign, and built a facility that is satisfying the oil and gas sector. Without that facility, we would have been still shuttling out of Trinidad. Right now, because of that consortium, Guyana, within a short span of time, was able to satisfy the oil and gas sector in a large way. SES, another waste management company that we formed from a Geico standpoint, along with Gisby and a foreign company. 3 companies again came together there, form a consortium. We're sharing the pie, but at the same time, we're creating the environment so that we can capitalize on the opportunity now and not 10 years down the line. The diaspora also have a wide range of experts. These guys left Guyana Shore, gone out there, and they have a wide range of experience. They may not have the financial capability, but they have the technical ability. We need to tap in on those also and work with them. And I can safely say to you, from a private sector, BSO standpoint, we're doing a lot of that. We've seen a lot of those conversations going on. Only other day, a couple of days ago, the DR team that was here with their president, you could see the aggressiveness and the enthusiasm, both from the private sector out in Dominican Republic and our local private sector, to create those partnerships so we can springboard ourselves in Guyana development as quickly as possible. The investor confidence level in Guyana is at its highest ever. Because of our political stability, it also gives investors the level of confidence that their investment is going to be safe, secured. Government of the day is going to respect the sanity of contract. If you don't respect the sanity of contracts, it's a deterrent to investors. They're not going to come and invest, because if government change tomorrow morning and then somebody disregard those contract conditions, no one is going to be comfortable. As an investor, I'm not going to be comfortable if my investment is subject to the changes of government change. So the sanity of contract and the investment confidence level, in my view, is 2 key indicators that is attracting these foreign companies who are showing interest in Guyana. Outside of that, the level of investment and the opportunity and the growth development that these people can see within the shortest possible time, it's enormous. One of the good things about our economy is self-sufficient without the oil and gas sector. If you look at the GDP growth rate on non-oil sector, it's still continuously growing over the last couple of years. It's not going on the downside, it's going on the upside. It means those other sectors are still investing, they're still developing and growing and supporting the economy in a large way. Oil and gas is a booster to our economy, and we're seeing it. Over the next 5 years, our economy is going to transform significantly, both from our school, hospitals, road network, food security, and you name it. Every single sector you will see development because they're all interlinked. We cannot separate them and survive. They're all intertwined one way or the other. Look at the hospitality sector. A couple of years ago, you had 2 hotels, Marriott and Pegasus. You have almost 6 to 8 hotel chains going up right now. And if you try to get into some of these hotels, they're still fully booked all the time. So if you want to invest in Guyana, now is the time. You're here at the right time when everything is booming. Creating partnership, creating consortium, working with government on public-private partnership. Now is the time to do it, all right? And some of the foreign banks that are willing to loan when it comes to capital and financing and equity financing, we have seen interest from across the world to offer equity financing. IDB is now offering loans to companies, to private companies, all right? Those are stuff that was not here in the past. It's here now. We have seen the Exim Bank of the US also put aside fund, all right, to support development. We as BSOs and we as local company need to tap in on those stuff so that we can capitalize and make sure at the end of the day, we work with ourselves, we work with those financial agencies, and we work with foreign companies to make sure that we capitalize on that and help develop Guyana so we can see Guyana develop within the shortest possible time. We have never had the opportunity we have right now as a private sector. The private sector in Guyana right now is being seen and is being given the opportunity to be the real engine of growth to this economy. The government, and I must commend the government has been working very closely with the private sector to make sure that all the creeks and the shortage and the areas that we have issues with, they work at a policy level and make sure that those policies are put in place so that businesses can work smoothly without hindrance.
Guyana remains an attractive investment destination and is open to investment partners. We therefore encourage investors to explore the many opportunities that are available. Until next time, I am Vivekanand Rajkumar.